Welcome to the Middleware Tech YouTube channel. Today, we're starting a complete course about digital integration in enterprise-level application. Let's get started.
System. Very simply, or layman's language, if I want to say, how I'm going to connect two different systems. Assume this is one system and this is another one system. Two systems I want to connect in enterprise level application, where one system can be client to another system, or I want two systems to interact with each other. Now, that is the same, very simply layman's language, we say there's an integration, right? You are going to integrate two systems. So if I have, assume this is one system, this system is said to be as system 1, right? And this is another one system. So I assume this is another one system, is system 2. You can think about these two systems as two servers, one server and another server. Two servers you want to communicate with each other. How they will communicate? How will integrate two systems? Right? This is the integration that we are talking about. So to integrate two systems, we use another one term that is called distributed. You may have heard the term distributed communication, distributed environment communication. So what is the meaning of distributed environment communication? Distributed means remotely call some function. Some function, this system want to call some function that is running in some other system, or this system want to call some function that is running in some other system. That we defined as distributed environment communication. How two systems I want to integrate. We have different definition of distributed environment communication. I'm not going into that. Some definition saying is that function running in one JVM calling the function that is running in some other JVM, that is said to be as a distributed environment communication. It's fine, but I want to connect or I want to integrate two different systems. Correct. That is integration. Very simply layman's language, and the root level, we say this is the meaning of integration. I want to connect two systems. So to connect two systems in distributed environment communication, one technology came first. I'm talking about, if I say Java based, one technology came that is called RMI. RMI full name is Remote Method Invocation. So first technology came that is called RMI, or Remote Method Invocation. Using RMI, we can connect two different systems. One system can call some functionality in some other system. Now this is a Java-based technologies. RMI is a Java-based technology. Using that you can connect. But it has some limitation. If I want to connect with RMI between two systems, it has some limitation. The limitation is that it can connect only two systems where Java is running in both the system. Means Java to Java system, like that, Java to Java server, right? So that means using RMI, if I want to connect or if I want to implement distributed environment communication between two systems, here I should be Java and here also I should be Java. That means use RMI to connect two systems in homogeneous environment. But if I have some Java code here and if I have some .NET code here, that is heterogeneous environment communication, RMI was not successful. So to implement it, so the limitation of RMI gets resolved when it came with CodeBA. CodeBA full name is Common Object Request Broker Architecture. Common Object Request Broker Architecture, its name is CodeBA. CodeBA is also one type of distributed environment communication technology between two systems or multiple systems. Now this CodeBA communication can connect Java to Java application component or Java to .NET application component or Java to some other application component. That means using CodeBA you can implement heterogeneous environment communication and homogeneous environment communication both. I'm not going how these technologies actually work. But the CodeBA implementation to connect two different systems in distributed environment communication, this CodeBA implementation is not used because of its high cost and complexity. Then we came with another one, distributed environment communication technology. You're all familiar with that. You know this name very well. Its name is web service. Web service. Two different systems can connect very easily using web service. And the web service communication between two systems is accepted and very helpful. Why? Because if I have some application component here, assume it is Java. So assume I have some application component in the system, assume it is in .NET. Two systems want to communicate with each other very simply, right? But this is a Java application component, assume it is EJB. And here we have some application component called .NET let me think about COM-DECOM. So how this two system is going to communicate with each other using web service communication? What they do is that while the Java object is converted as XML and JSON format. Java object is converted as XML/JSON format using web service, and all the .NET object, whatever we have the .NET object, right? So that object is converted as XML or JSON format, XML or JSON format. Now, if you see here, all the Java object that is available in the system 1 that you have exposed, the Java functionality that you have exposed as an web service using XML and JSON format, means object. What you have is that object means what? We have some attribute and action. That attribute and functionality you can expose from Java object to in XML and JSON format. Similarly, if you have .NET object, the .NET object have object, right? Object means what? We have some attribute and action. Those attribute and action you can convert as an XML and JSON format. And this data is going to communicate with each other using web service. So web service communication is being accepted in distributed environment communication. Why? Because using web service, two systems can communicate using a medium vendor independent language. That is, XML and JSON is a vendor independent component. Java object details using web service you are going to expose, and its object details is converting as an XML and JSON format. .NET object details you are going to expose as a web service, and the details is coming as an XML and JSON format. Both are vendor independent component, and you can communicate with both the system in using web service. Correct. So web service is an accepted approach in distributed environment communication between two different systems. Correct. So this is the root level concept of integration between two systems that today's enterprise is using. Fine. Now I'm talking about our focus is enterprise integration. Our focus is enterprise architecture or enterprise architecture. Let me talk about first enterprise architecture. So enterprise architecture means what I want to say is that I'm just talking about, as you know, everyone, that every day some technology versions are changing. If you think about our Java version, Oracle releasing new Java version after every 6 months. Now it is Java 14. After some day you'll find Java 15. After find Java 16. So every day technology versions are changing day by day. Think about Python. Last time it was the 2.x. Now it is 3.x. From language perspective, think about the different product that is available in the market. So every day technologies are changing day by day. So software architects are constantly confronted with the changes and expansion of functionality, so when technology is going to change day by day, automatically it will increase. You have to update your existing infrastructure with that updatable technology. Correct. So automatically it will increase system complexity as well as it will reduce efficiency. So there was a need for an enterprise architecture. Enterprise architecture means a particular architecture that will manage the application that is running throughout the world in distributed environment communication. Assume, let me talk about different vendors like LG Electronics, HP, Oracle, IBM, different banking application, healthcare applications, insurance application. Some applications that is running worldwide in 200 countries. They're using multiple servers. So in distributed environment communication, how I can manage a enterprise level application that is running worldwide. Enterprise level application is that application that is running worldwide in multiple servers in all the countries, right? So the thing is that there was a need to create an enterprise architecture that is going to manage the complete application that is running worldwide in all the 200 countries 24 hours. Correct. So that was the need to create an enterprise architecture because, as I told you that, so this need is not a new today. That need started from the year 1980 itself. And the applications are running in multiple systems. How I can manage the application that is running in multiple systems in worldwide? So this need started from long back. So what different architects, technical architects, managers, technical managers, what they need is that the enterprise architecture that should be simple enough. Should be simple in order to have efficient communication between key personnel for a particular project. That enterprise architecture that is going to manage the application worldwide, right? So there should be reusability. Reusability means that assume, the reason is that it is going to reduce development cost because as well as maintenance cost because if
Amitwa, can you hear me?
yeah, I think there's some disconnection.
Yes.
Okay, fine. So I was talking about that. Yes, you're talking about history of enterprise integration. So when I say about different types of in the year actually this enterprise architecture concept that you're talking about, this concept came in the 1980 itself. Okay, so that time the concept came as a different EDM project. So what they try to do in the year 1980 is that they try to focus the database side. If you remember, in the year 1977, some concept of relational database concept came in the market. Oracle database came first time in the year 1977, that time, right? So in the year 1980, what they have tried, they thought that if we can use RDBMS to create an enterprise data model as a global schema, and that global schema is going to manage the application that is running worldwide. So that approach came in the year 1980. And the corresponding name of the project was EDM, or Enterprise Data Model. They try to focus the database. They try to focus the database, create a global schema, and that global schema is going to manage the application worldwide. That approach came to create an enterprise architecture, but that was not successful. That was not ultimately successful, okay, because it failed for conflicting interest between different stakeholders, technical complexity of undertakings. Then in the year 1990, see, the approach not yet, they try to create the enterprise architecture that will manage the application that is running worldwide. So in the year 1990, already just now I told you, right, XML web service is used to implement distributed environment communication between two systems. So in the year 1990, they came with a concept. The name of the concept is Enterprise Software Bus. Remember the name, Enterprise Software Bus. What they tried is that they tried the middle tier. They tried the middle tier. So in the middle tier, whatever the business logic you are using in Java, in .NET, or some any other language, what they tried is that services they want to expose as a web service. The application logic they want to expose as a web service, and they try to implement distributed environment communication using these technologies, and they try to create an enterprise architecture that is going to manage the application that is running worldwide, right? But this technology that I find here, they are successful to implement integration between two systems or multiple systems. But CORBA means, just now I told you its full name is common object request broker architecture. MOM full name is message oriented middleware and XML web service. What they have tried is that they try to use this middle tier application logic or middle tier application logic they want to expose as a service, and that service is said to be software service bus, and using enterprise software bus, and using that enterprise software bus they try to create a enterprise architecture that will manage the application that is running worldwide. But it was not successful to create an enterprise architecture, but it was successful to create an enterprise integration. These technologies, just now I told you, XML web service is successful to implement integration between two systems. But using this enterprise software bus, it was not successful to create an enterprise architecture that will manage the application that is running worldwide in multiple servers. Fine. So how to create that enterprise architecture? So that approach is still now continued. Then in the year 2000, the concept, you may have heard the name SOA concept came. SOA full name is Service Oriented Architecture, SOA. The service oriented architecture, what they do is that they try to focus the middle tier application logic. Middle tier application logic, they try to expose as a web service. And that web service, we can implement the communication between web services using a centralized control and a centralized repository, and that repository will help us to manage the application that is running worldwide between multiple systems. So the service oriented architecture was successful to create an enterprise architecture that is right, and it is accepted also. And that time lot of vendor like IBM came with IBM SOA, Oracle came with Oracle SOA. Then you have we have Apache SOA, Microsoft came with Microsoft Dynamics. Different vendor came with their own SOA, and that is being used a lot, and still now lots of application is going on using SOA worldwide. But this SOA implementation also have some limitations. What is the limitations? If your enterprise level application is running using SOA, if your enterprise level application is running using SOA, then a particular project, or to resolve you need in a minimum, one project should have minimum, a project team should have minimum 30 to 40 members in a project team. And to resolve a client requirement, it take minimum 1.5 months. So this is the, some complexity is there with SOA, means it will take some time to resolve any customer requirement or any customer update, right? As well as you need a very big team members to handle that project that is running worldwide. So that was the limitation, you can say. That then to resolve that limitation in the year 2012, just 8 years back, right? You may have heard his name. His name is Martin Fowler. He actually a technical specialist, and he is actually created a lots of basic technical technicalities in web application side. So Martin Fowler came with a workshop on microservices in the year 2012. So from that time, he actually came with the concept or name that is called microservice or microservices architecture. So this microservices architecture concept came in the year 2012, and in case of microservices, we can get a very good enterprise architecture using microservices. Okay, right? So also if you find and in case of microservice implementation, you need very less number of team, just 7 to 8 members, and within 1 week you can resolve the customer requirement. So industry accepted that microservices architecture, and they're implementing or migrating their existing SOA applications with microservices based on their module requirement. And you can see it's a huge demand for microservice architecture today. That architecture provided by Spring Cloud, that architecture provided by GCP, different cloud infrastructure like GCP, AWS, Azure cloud infrastructure. Spring Cloud is also providing microservice architecture. So that is the things, right? So this microservice architecture is one type of solution for enterprise architecture. This use decentralized services, means the services will be deployed in different locations. So I'm talking about enterprise architectures, history of enterprise architectures. Now in this history of enterprise architectures, these technologies actually used to implement enterprise integration. They are not successful to create an enterprise architecture, but they are successful to implement enterprise integration. That is our topic here, correct? So let's come to the enterprise integration topic. So just now I told you that enterprise have some challenges. These are the challenges: lack of flexibility, not standard based, project cost and long duration. To resolve these challenges, right, we need an enterprise integration. So first enterprise integration came, that is called point-to-point integration. Already I told you that in distributed environment communication, we use web service to communicate with two systems. I want to connect between these two systems. How I'll connect? I'll connect using a service. You can connect with service this between these two systems. Now, if I'm going to use, now I'm talking about enterprise integration, how I can implement enterprise integration. One approach is point-to-point integration. So what does it mean by point-to-point integration? Point-to-point integration is saying that two systems you are going to communicate, or two systems you are going to connect. So this point-to-point integration, if you are going to connect 2-3 systems, it is a very good solution, and industry accepting it. But enterprise level application will never use 2 or 3 systems to connect. Enterprise level application will use multiple systems that is running worldwide. They are going to connect with each other. So point-to-point system, developer write some custom integration code directly in their applications. So when developer is going to write the custom integration code directly in their applications, that will create the application as tightly coupled applications. And as the number of applications and services within the enterprise increase, this point-to-point integration becomes overly complex and expensive to maintain. So for 2 systems, 3 systems, it is excellent. But when I'm going, as you know, enterprise level applications, lots of system interacting with each other throughout the world. So this approach is not acceptable, or this approach is not used. So another one enterprise integration solution came in the market, that is called EAI tool. EAI full name is Enterprise Application Integration. So what is the two system you are going to connect? So what they do is that they use some EAI tool to connect with another one system. They use one EAI tool to connect with another one system. So this EAI connect existing and new systems to enable operations within the entire organizations. So there is lots of EAI technologies in the market. We have SAP Exchange infrastructure, we have TIBCO, we have BitchTalk, Web Methods, Vitria, IBM MQ series, So these are some of the AI tools that is used in the market to implement enterprise integration between multiple systems. Still now some project is using TIBCO. But if you go with this integration solution, there is some challenges. What are the challenges? In case of point-to-point integration, there is some challenges. Just now I told you that you are going to modify the integration code in that existing system. When number of system will increase, it will be very difficult to change. If there is a 200 system will integrate with each other and you are going to manipulate the integration code in each system, all the 200, it is very tough, difficult to upgrade, not a standard based, high maintenance cost. So this approach is not used in the industry to implement integration. If you think different AI tools provided by TIBCO, provided by Vitria, Web Methods, BizTalk, these AI tools also high cost, come with high cost. Now, this is how the integration technologies came point to point, enterprise application integration or AI tools that we can implement using web service also. It's fine, but both the approach is not used in the industry today. Today's industry use ESB because where is our today's industry? Today's industry is here. Today's industry is here. Today, these systems you want to connect, you need social media to connect. You need mobile and different devices to connect. You need to connect SaaS services. Clouds is already there. All the services are running inside the cloud. Partners and supplier services are there. So today's business is here. So if I want to implement enterprise integration today, today's solution is that I have to use ESB. It is not enterprise software bus, it is a service bus. Today, I have to use ESB. Today's market is using ESB. I'm coming into what are the different types of ESB is there. Let me just talk about what is the advantage if I use enterprise service bus to communicate multiple systems. See, ESB, what is the ESB? ESB, it's a set of rules and principles to integrate multiple systems or numerous applications together over a bus-like infrastructure. You integrate applications by putting a communication bus between these two systems, right? Just put a bus between these two systems, and this bus will help you to connect two systems, right? So this system is going to talk with the bus, this system is going to talk with the bus, and they will communicate. This is how this ESB or enterprise service bus architecture came, and it is giving you one type of pluggable architecture. Yes, I want to connect, assume you want to connect with the switchboard. Just connect the plug. I want to disconnect, just disconnect the plug. Like that, if I want the system to connect, just connect it. If you don't want, just disconnect it. So it will give us one type of pluggable system, well-defined pluggable system. It will increase operational agility by reducing time. So this ESB or enterprise service bus is used. Today's industry is using enterprise service bus to communicate between enterprise level application worldwide. It is giving a bus-like architecture, right? So, right? Okay. Now we'll say that yes, if I'm going to use this ESB, this ESB architecture have some key principles, that will allow for business agility and scale. Okay, so the key focus is to decouple the systems from each other. while allowing them to communicate in a consistent and manageable way. So this bus concept decouple applications from each other. Data, that travel on the bus, they have some standard canonical format. So there is a concept of adapter between the applications and the bus that marshal the data and send it to the adapter. And another system, it has also connecting with an adapter with the bus, and the data will come to that system and it gets unmarshaled. So if you see, the adapter can also perform a host of other activities like transaction management, security, monitoring, error handling. So lots of tasks are there in case of integration in our enterprise level applications. Fine. So when you implement integration, there is some core principles is there. These are some of the core principles if I'm going to implement integration in digital domain technology in enterprise level applications, like orchestration is. So when I go like transformation, transportation, mediation, what does it mean? Orchestration, what does it mean by this? What does it mean? As for example, when you find any particular music, any music, just I'm talking layman's language, when you find any particular sweet song, what you find is that different sounds are coming in such way, it's going to create a melodious song. That we say, right? Melodious song. Same like that in our enterprise level applications. All the systems is going to interconnect with each other using a service. So how different services will interact with each other and complete some task in such way that we'll get highest output with less time. I have to use less cost, less time, and high throughput. So this is the requirement. That concept is called orchestration. So in enterprise integration should have the concept of orchestration. I am going to use all the services in such a way that I'll get high performance with less time or less usage of the resource, right? We have the concept transformation. What does it mean, transformation? Transformation means the data is coming in XML format. I want to send it to the JSON format. Data is coming into CSV format. I have to convert it and send it to the XML format. How we are going to transform the data from one format to another format? That is another one important features of that is called transformation. Similarly, transportation. Transportation means when I'm going to send the data from one system to another system, it should use different protocols, right? HTTP, GMS, right? Different protocol it can use. That is called transportation. Similarly, we have the concept of mediation. Mediation means what? We have multiple services in between that will provide a particular interface to some component to communicate. So these are some of the core principles of an enterprise integration technology called ESB, or Enterprise Service Bus. So today's industry will use enterprise service bus to communicate between multiple systems in enterprise level application. Now you will say, what are the different products that is being used today? If you want to see that today's products are this. We have today we use different ESBs called Mule ESB. Now different type of ESB that is used today in enterprise level application. This is the list that is being provided here. Here, if you find open source ESBs, out of all these different ESBs, these are all are providing some ESB solution. Just now I told you ESB, right? Enterprise Service Bus, ESB. This ESB is the today's industry or enterprise level application use this ESB to communicate between multiple systems. So today, if I'm working as an integration developer, if I'm going to as an integration specialist in enterprise level application, then I must have no ESB. ESB is not a particular vendor. ESB is a one type of term, one type of pattern that is being used by different vendor. Like just now I told you that MuleSoft providing ESB, that is called Mule ESB. That is an earlier it was open source. Now it is comes under Salesforce. So it is an usually used integration technology today, Mule ESB. You may have heard the name because it is coming with very less pricing prospect, and it is very good integration solution. It provides with different cloud services, social media applications, different in systems. Very good and excellent solution provided by MuleSoft. And today's industry enterprise level application, you use this Mule ESB to communicate with each other. Another one solution came under JBoss, that is called JBoss Fuse. This JBoss Fuse is also using ESB. JBoss Fuse is also using ESB. Right now, this JBoss Fuse came under Red Hat. Okay, so similarly, we have a Spring framework in Java. I'm not talking about a Spring framework. If you know a Spring framework in Java using a Spring Boot, then you'll find that under the Spring framework or using a Spring Boot, you can implement integration between multiple systems. That is said to be as an Spring integration. This is also another type of ESB provided by Spring. So here, right? So these are the ESBs, open source ESB solution that we use today, the industry, to communicate between multiple systems. We have some message brokers also, like ActiveMQ, Apache Kafka, or RabbitMQ. These are the messaging solution to communicate between multiple systems when you're going to integrate in enterprise level. We have some REST-based integration. As I told you that today if I want to implement integration, already I told you in the first is that integration is nothing but distributed environment communication between two systems. And the root level, it is nothing but we can implement it in web service. So web service means today what? Today web service means REST-based web service. So that means using a REST API, one system can communicate using other system, because most of the organization today expose their services as a REST API. So we can use REST web service or REST API to implement integration between multiple systems, and some of the standard implementation of REST-based integration like Amazon Simple Queue Service, Google Cloud PubSub. If you have worked on Google Cloud, you'll find PubSub is a very good solution to implement integration, REST-based integration. We have from Microsoft Technologies is also there, that is called MSMQ. This is also a very good solution to implement integration. So these are some of the integration solutions today used by the industry. Now thing is that if I am going to work as an fine, I'm going to work as an enterprise integration specialist. So I have to be, I have to go with any one of the skill set. Generally, most of the organization follow these integrations: Mule ESB, JBoss Fuse, Spring integration, and they I have not included one of the integration called WASB. We have another one integration that is called WASB or Oracle Service Bus. WASB or Oracle Service Bus. Now, when you implement integration between multiple system, there is multiple pattern is there. There is multiple pattern to integrate two system. Multiple pattern is there. As for example, I'm not talking about them because these are not, as for example, we have messaging channel pattern. We have public subscribe channel pattern. We have did letter channel pattern. We have correlation identifier pattern. We have content-based routing pattern. We have message translator pattern, content enricher pattern, event-driven consumer pattern, polling mass consumer pattern, wiretap. So we have lots of patterns is available in the market. That pattern is used by whom? This pattern is used by different ESBs like Mule ESB. If I want to implement enterprise integration today using Mule, then I have to know Mule ESB and I have to know all this pattern, how I can implement using Mule ESB. Right? So Mule ESB is one very important integration solution today's in enterprise level application. How I can integrate different system using Mule ESB. That is, you can extend your skill set in this domain. If you want to be an integration specialist in enterprise level application domain, enterprise application integration domain, or you can go with Oracle Service Bus. Some of the project is going on with Oracle Service Bus also. So Oracle Service Bus or OSB also is used to integrate enterprise level application in right. Similarly, we have another some applications that is called JBoss Fuse that comes under Red Hat. This is also used. This is also using one ESB. All the pattern just now I told. They are also used to communicate multiple system. You can go for JBoss ESB, or you can go with Spring integration. So using Spring integration also you can connect multiple system together. So we have lots of integration solution in the market to implement enterprise level integration. Correct. So if I want to be a specialist in any one of the integration domain, then I have to go with any one of the domain, one of the field where I can use. I have to be specialist in any one of the integration solution, right? That is being used for enterprise integration, and these are the product. This 4 product is being hugely used today. Mule ESB, Oracle Service Bus, JBoss Fuse, and Spring integration. These are the hot integration topic for our enterprise level application today. Fine. So what I have tried is that I have just tried to make a good understanding about what does it mean by integration, how this concept of enterprise integration came from the concept of enterprise architecture. And if I want to implement an enterprise integration, you can go for point to point, you can go for EAI, but for an enterprise level application, they are not used today because they have lots of limitations. Today's solution is ESB. You have to use enterprise service bus, because enterprise service bus will give us very good pluggable architecture to communicate with individual services throughout the enterprise. And EN Mule ESB is one type of ESB. JBoss Fuse is another type of ESB from Red Hat. Then Oracle Service Bus from Oracle, and then Spring integration from Pivotal. Very good integration solution that is being used today in enterprise level integration. Fine. So if you have to make our skill set in that domain, then we have to work on this and move forward. Right, guys? Yes, fine. Anyone have any queries? Because our time period is very less, only 1 hour. So anyone have any queries about whatever we talked about here? Yes, please.
Amita, could you please give a brief about this orchestration, just in a brief? Yeah.
Okay. So orchestration, we use the term called service orchestration. So orchestration To understand orchestration, I just told you that as for example, if you listen a particular melodious song, you'll find that all the sounds are coming in such way that it is going to create a melodious song. Similarly, for enterprise level applications, when you implement an enterprise level application, there is multiple services will interact with each other. As for example, you want to implement an inventory application, the client is going to send a particular request, and that request contains some payload, and that payload is going from one system to another system. So where you are going to use multiple services. One service is going to check whether the client have valid credit card details or not. Another service is going to check whether the corresponding inventory is available or not. Another service is going to check whether which inventory is coming with a less cost. So we have multiple services you are using in your enterprise application. So all the services I will integrate in such a way that I will complete that business process with less time, using less resource. That concept is called orchestration, service orchestration. I'll use all the services in such a way that I can complete the task with less time, with less resource, with high performance. That is called service orchestration.